and good afternoon to all of you at the Meditation Foundation in Goa. Welcome to Lord Shiva's Boxers, a Satsang Theatre by Loka Devadas from the Free Academy. First, Devadas will give you an introduction to the world of Tantra and the SHIVA Sutra. Then we will also practice some of the meditation technique from Shiva. And at the end, there will be time for a question and answer. So welcome. And there's Mr. Loka Devadas.
Yes, happy to see so many of you here. Are you awake? Let's I will start by saluting you. Namaste. And namaste. And to me this means the guru, the guider in my heart is bowing for the guru in your heart. So this is a sound. There is a very fading sound there.
Yeah.
Ah.
You have to choose your right spot.
Like that.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
So, just from the beginning, I like to say that this is Satsang Theatre, and in Satsang there is usually some enlightened guru around. But I will express immediately that I'm not a guru like that. I'm doing theatre, Satsang Theatre, so I'm playing guru. The true guru is in your heart, in your own heart. So I will, that's why I bow. Namaste. All right, then we can start. This microphone is going to be my problem here. I see a big ocean. I see a fantastic big ocean, and there is rain and mist and what's happening? My God is Durga, ocean of compassion. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Can you make it a bit louder, maybe? Possible?
It's good. Devadas. It's good sound.
It's good sound?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here?
To begin with, I see this ocean, and the ocean is wide and big, and there is rain and mist, and on the ocean there is a big whale swimming, and this big whale is having a rope in his mouth, and it's dragging something behind it, and it's like a big piece of land floating on the sea. Now this white whale is not an ordinary whale. It is actually a rishi from Tibet who's gone into the harbor of a whale, and it's carrying a whole continent behind it, and it swims, and then it dives down, and the whole continent collides with Asia, and by this collision the whole mountain goes up, and Himalaya, the mountains of Himalaya, is created, and it's a big bang and splash and earthquake. And here in Goa you can still see on the shore here how the rocks are standing up as you go to the Sweetwater Lake, and it's from this big collision. So now that we have India at its place. That was Act 1. Act 2. in the land of India, long time ago, everyone was happy, but there was a king called Bhagiratha. And the king Bhagiratha, people came to him and said, "Oh, we have problem here in the country. There is no water. There is very less water. So can you please ask Brahma, the gods, for help to bring some water to the earth?" And Bhagiratha, he went meditating. He meditated for 1 year. He was standing on one leg. He was sitting in the circles of fire. He was doing arduous sadhana. And finally Brahma in the heavenly skies found compassion with him and asked, "Oh Bhagiratha, what can I do for you?" And Bhagiratha said, "Oh Brahma, can you bring us your heavenly daughter, goddess Ganga, to the earth?" "Oh, it's not possible," said Brahma, "because she will make the whole earth disappear. But only Shiva can help you in this matter." So Bhagiratha went out again and he did serious sadhana, and Shiva found compassion with his devotion and his true heart longing to help his people. So Shiva came and he decided to come down to the earth. So he put his foot down on one of the highest mountains in the Himalayas. He came down to the mountain of Kailash. And there he stepped down and found his place down. We have a chair for you, Sid.
Oh, yeah.
Sit, come here.
Up there?
Yeah, come to me. This is
I
a
want it
king of
everywhere.
Arambol, huh? We told you.
I shall follow my heart.
This is a guru. Hi.
My goddess Durga. For you. Welcome. And for you latecomer, I have just incarnated Shiva from the heavens. And Shiva came down and put his foot on Kailash. And he's coming down to the earth now. Now Shiva is sitting there and he calls out, Shiva calls out, Gangaji, Gangaji. And the goddess, the heavenly daughter of Gangaji, she comes down. And when she sees Shiva sitting there, Shiva doesn't have such a nice hair like our guru here. He has all these dreadlocks. And so Gangaji, she tries to unfold the dreadlocks and clean his hair. And by this compassionate doing, she gets caught with her fingers in the hair. And by this trick, Shiva pulls her down to the earth. And Gangaji comes down, and she becomes, by this, a river. And she starts to flow from Kailash down, from Badrinath and Gangotri, and down to Lakshman Yuva and Rishikesh. And Bhagiratha, he goes before the river, and the people are dancing, and tortoises and dolphins are jumping in the river, and the river flows down. And at the place of Varanasi, the river makes a big U-turn, so that the people in this city will always see the sun rising in the water. Look.
Everyone takes the other mic. This one is a mess.
Huh?
The other mic.
No, yeah? It's okay now, huh? All right. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So now, the Ganga came, and the whole India got nourished by the water from the Holy Mother Ganga. That's Act 2. So now we come to Act 3. And one morning, Shiva is sitting meditating. And Shiva, as you see from the pictures of Shiva, my God, it's Durga, what a compassionate microphone. Hello again. There we are. This is better. Now I can even hear myself. Ha! No. So one morning, the story goes on. Shiva was sitting at the feet of Kailash by the Ganga, and he had this serene smile on his face you've seen from all the pictures of Shiva. And next to him was Devi sitting. Now you may wonder, Devi, she was also full of love for Shiva. In this total devotional love, her heart was free, and she was enlightened by her compassionate love for Shiva. Just by devotion frees, you can become free from in that loving act of devotion. So she was very enlightened, but still, she, out of compassion for us here and the mankind to come, she put some very sweet questions to Shiva. And now I want you to stand up. Can you please help me now? Stand up.
Yeah. Make way for the camera.
Стендап я понимаю. Там же
Oh my God, it's Durga. Now, I'm here.
Oh my God, Durga.
So, if you lean a little bit forward over your feet, over your toes, and then you lean a little bit backwards, but don't fall. Feel the gravity. Lean a little bit forward again, and a little bit backward, and then a little bit forward, and there you stop. And there you are, awake and arise. And Devi said to Shiva, say after me, "Oh Shiva!
Oh Shiva!
What is your reality?
What is your reality?
What is this wonder-filled universe?
What is this wonderful universe?
What constitutes C?
What constitutes C?
Who centers the universal wheel?
Who centers the universal wheel?
What is this life?
What is this life?
Beyond form,
Beyond form,
pervading forms.
pervading form.
How may we enter it fully?
How may it fully?
Above space and time.
Above space and time.
Names and descriptions.
Names and descriptions.
Please clarify my doubts.
Please clarify my doubts.
Thank you, thank you. This was the sweet questions from Devi to Shiva. Please, now you can sit down. I just wanted you to taste the questions, the dimension of the questions.
Now, Shiva, he doesn't answer. He doesn't answer by saying what his reality is. He gives Devi and us 112 meditation techniques, centering techniques, reset buttons for the mind, so that you can come back to the present moment, the here and now, and be fully alive again when you got stuck in the periphery of the mind, wandering here and there. So, and the first meditation technique from Shiva goes like this. He looks at her and he says, "Oh beloved, oh lotus-eyed one, sweet of touch, this experience may dawn between two breaths. When breath goes out and turns and goes in and turns. At the turning points, realize." So we can do that for a short time. Can you please sit up a little bit straight? We will not fully go into all the techniques of Shiva, but we will just experiment for a short time. So if you sit up, and we will do this. So if you relax and breathe out and breathe in, and put attention on the turning points when the breath turns and goes out again, and then comes in again. At the turning points, realize. We do this for 1 minute. Just let the breath be normal and relaxed. And harmonious. Okay, that's enough for a taste, but that is a meditation that you can practice as often as you have nothing better to do. You just put attention on the breath, when the turning points of the breath, when breath goes out, turns, goes in, and turns. At the turning points, relax totally and realize. Now, the meditations from Shiva were 112, and they cover almost all activities you can do in life. There are 10 more about breathing, different attention on how the breath moves. So breath is the key for to get out of any kind of emotion you're into. You just breathe. And then there are some techniques about listening to music, and we will go into them a little bit later. Now I will tell you one more story.
What was the second story? Clap for the first technique.
Wow, thank you. Now, the teaching of Shiva came all the way to the West. At the time of Buddha, about 500 years before Christ, it had reached Egypt. And in Egypt at that time, in Greece at that time, lived a philosopher called Pythagoras. He was a very famous mathematician, and he was one of the most honored scholars of the whole known world then in Greece and so on. So he heard that in Egypt there was a mystery school where they were teaching the secret teachings from the Himalayas, from Shiva. So he decided to go and study there. Now, he took a boat across the Mediterranean Sea. He stopped at Alexandria, and there was the finest library in the world. So he went in there and got some new books and left his old, and he traveled on to Egypt, and one day he came to the mystery school. Now, he knocked on the door of the mystery school. And the man from inside, he came, and he opened a little window and looked out, and he saw Pythagoras, and Pythagoras said, "I am Pythagoras, the famous mathematician from Egypt, from Greece, and I have come to take part of your mystery school, and please allow me to come in." But to his surprise, they wouldn't let him in. They closed the door and slammed it, and he was standing there, bewildered. What can I do? They're not letting me in. So he went down. There was a small village, and in this village there was a tea house. And what do you do when you don't know what to do? You go and have a cup of tea. So Pythagoras, he went down there and had a cup of tea. Now, in the corner of the tea house, he was lucky because there was a man, and it wasn't any kind of man. In the corner there was sitting Mullah Nasruddin. And Mullah Nasruddin,
Who is that?
Mullah Nasruddin is this man, you know. And now he was sitting
in the corner there with a blanket and chilling out. And he was very friendly, so he listened to the story of Pythagoras, and he listened carefully, and then he said, "Well, if you listen, I can tell you one story that will give you the key to the mystery school." "Oh," said Pythagoras, "I want to hear." So now, the story of Mullah Nasruddin. Once upon a time, there was a king and a princess. And the princess was very, very pretty. She was so pretty that all the young men from all over the country came to visit her and enjoy her beauty and flirt with her, of course. So the king, he got very tired of these visitors all the time, so he locked the princess up in a big tower. High up in the tower, he locked her in a small room with only one window. So she couldn't take any more visitors. So one day she was sitting there, and it was evening, and then she heard in the night, she heard a sound of a flute.
my God, it's good. Fell asleep.
The flute fell asleep.
This was just a trick to make us laugh.
Oui, it's okay.
Well, it was the sound of the flute was blowing away in the wind.
But he listened, and
She went to the window and looked out, and he looked down, and there was a prince, and he came with a white horse, and he had put the white horse there, and he was playing on the flute. And she waved to him, and they looked at each other, and immediately, at first sight, they fell in love. So the prince, he was a very special prince. He had a small box with him, and in this box he opened, there was a beetle, a small beetle, and he put the beetle on the wall of the tower, and he put some nectar on the horns of the beetle, and he put a silk thread on the leg of the beetle. And then now he put the beetle on the wall, and the beetle climbed up, all the way up. And the princess was sitting up there, and she was looking out through the window. And she saw the beetle coming, and as it came up to the window, she took it carefully and untied the little silk thread and let the beetle free. It could even fly. So it flew away, and she took the silk thread and pulled it up, and in the end of the silk thread there was a string. So she pulled the silk thread up and pulled the string up, and in the end of the string there was a rope. So she took the rope and tied it carefully inside the room of her tower, and threw the rope, and the rope was hanging down, and the prince was very strong. He climbed up, took the princess on his shoulder, and down they went, and up on the horse, and as the sun was rising, they were riding away and living happily ever after. This was, and now Pythagoras was wondering, how can this story help me? Well, said Mozansuddin, you must remember the silk thread symbolizes the breath. When you relax the breath, when you get hold of your breath, you can relax your mind. And when the mind relaxes, your body relaxes. And when breath relaxed, mind relaxed, and body relaxed, now you are free. And there you have the key to the mystery school. So Pythagoras, he understood this I must practice for some time, because I must have this experience of total freedom. So he went out into the desert, and for 6 weeks he was living in the desert, and he was putting attention on the breath. He was relaxing the breath totally, and we can do one more exercise on the breath, which is my favorite. It's also used in Buddhist traditions, but it's from Shiva. So if you sit up again, and then you just breathe out, and you breathe in, and now you put attention on the sensation of the air passing your nostrils. So if you breathe out, you feel the air passing your nostrils. And when you breathe in, you feel the air passing your nostrils going in. And it turns and it goes out again. And going in. And let the let the breath be relaxed, natural, and harmonious. And let the thoughts come and go like clouds. Clouds going over the sky, and you remain like the sky, blue and endless, eternal awareness. And the clouds come and go, and they never touch the sky. And you just breathe and rest as that open, endless awareness. Okay, we're back. Now Pythagoras, he did this for 6 weeks, and he realized suddenly that he was not his mind. He was not this fantastic. He was not all his mathematical theories and the key to the mystery of the triangle and the circle P and whatever he found out. He was seeing all the clouds passing on the sky, and he was now identifying himself with that eternal sky that was watching the whole thing. So he went to the mystery school and he knocked on the door again. And the man inside there, the monk, he came and looked in the window, and now he saw that Pythagoras, had a totally different shine. His aura was totally different, and he just looked at him, and now Pythagoras said, "I know you are right. I know I'm not Pythagoras. I am eternal, endless bliss." So by this they let him in. They let him into the mystery school, so he could come in and study. And the first technique that he taught there is a very special one from Shiva, because when I was 19 years old, I was in the Himalayas and I studied yoga with the guru there called Prem Varni. And I told Prem Varni, it was in December in Rishikesh, it was very cold. I told him, "Please teach me meditation," I said to him. And he said, "Come 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, I will teach you."
Did you also wake up something like that?
Yeah. And so I put my alarm clock on the very early hour, and it was freezingly cold. And I came to his little room there, and he had a glowing fire going, a baroshi, and he put tulsi leaves and incense on it. And then he taught me a technique which later, 20 years later, I found out actually comes from Shiva. And it's the same technique that Pythagoras learned in the mystery school in Egypt. And it goes like this. It's like from Shiva. Shiva says like this. Say after me. Attention between the eyebrows.
Attention between the eyebrows.
Put mind before thought.
Put mind before thought.
Let essence of breath.
Let essence of breath
Fill form.
fill form
Till top of the head.
till top of the head.
And there
There
shower us light.
shower us light.
Yes. This is the technique from Shiva. So, attention between the eyebrows. You automatically, here in the third eye, attention is easily put because the third eye absorbs all thoughts by itself. It loves to it's like a black hole where all the thoughts automatically just get like a vacuum cleaner into. So, attention between the eyebrows. Put mind before thought. It means the awareness, the Buddha mind, the open mind, the sky awareness, the clarity. Put that before the thoughts. So you see the mind wanders. And then let essence of breath is the energy in the breath, the prana. if you take the energy of the breath and you just fill body up from down till top of the head, and there shower as light. Okay, we can do this for a few minutes to honor Pythagoras' warning.
Shiva.
Attention between the eyebrows. Put mind before thought, and that essence of breath fill form to the top of the head, and there shower as light. Well, each of these techniques here in the Book of Secrets, the Vighyan Bhairava Tantra from Shiva, is worth experimenting with in a very playful and scientific way. You must play with it maybe for 2 months before you even know if you like it. And if you like it, you can they become friends of you. And now there is one technique that is a very easy one and practical, and so we will do that now, and it's called banana meditation. And we have a bag of bananas here now. We will do eating meditation. And Shiva says, I will teach you the technique. But first you get one banana, and to begin with you just smell it.
So big hand for the banana technique.
I think we have enough.
By half you get more deeper taste.
You each one get a banana. First you can just smell it. There. And wait till everyone has one. Okay, Shiva says in the whole in the whole book of the Vighyan Bhairava Tantra, it's meditation is described. Hello, are you with me? Yeah. Just wait, not eating. Okay. In yoga and tantra, there is like different ways. In yoga, it's much more like a tortoise pulling the hands and legs in the tortoise, and you retreat to your Advaita cave and meditate there. In tantra, on the contrary, you open your senses, and through the senses, you become one with the cosmos, with everything. So there is one technique you can say after me, which is a little bit to this one with the bananas. It's like this. Shiva says to Devi, when vividly aware, say after me, through some particular sense, keep in the awareness. So, when you're hearing something or tasting something and seeing something, when vividly aware through some particular sense, keep in the awareness. You go back to that which is seeing, that which is hearing, that which is smelling. You do that for a short moment, and by that you center yourself when you split. And but now eating is one. Then Shiva says regarding eating, when say after me, when eating and drinking become the taste of the food and drink, and be filled. Yes, you become one with the taste as you eat something. So by that you become one with the food, and one with the earth the food comes from, and one with the whole cosmos that the food is behind the food. So we first we smell and we open it. I hope they are sweet, like Goa bananas usually are. Oh, then you can smell the flower if you smell it. There's been a flower behind it. Okay, and now the technique is become the taste. Become one with the taste. So we do that 1 minute silently, becoming one with the taste.
Close your eyes when you eat. When you close your eyes, you can concentrate on it. Become one with the taste.
Yes, and you know this is practiced everywhere. You know when the French people drink the wine, you know, they really smell the wine first, and then they drink it, and they become one with the taste of the wine. You know, and they have many poetic words about the taste of different wines. You know, it's not like the people up in Sweden where I come from. where you gulp the bottle straight. And we were like that barbarians up in the north. And the Japanese, they do with tea, they make very careful tea meditations, and they drink it very mindfully as a meditation, becoming one with the taste of the tea. And they make a ritual out of it so that they remember. So this is something you can also do when you're eating. And eating we do many times every day. You become, and just be very, very, use the moment when you eat to center, to become one with the taste. And that's a beautiful eating meditation. Always there. Breathing is also always there. It's always happening. So these are very useful techniques. Can someone collect the banana peels, please? So we get them in one place, because we're going to do some standing exercise soon. Oopsie doopsie. Oh, yeah. You have a plastic bed over there.
Иди поднимайся. И дедушка же будет делать. Сама твоя подходит. Ну ты же единственный переводчик, он по-другому не
We will do one meditation now. If you all, we get the banana peels gone. Yes, very good. Now you all stand up, please. And let's see how can we do this. Siddhartha, are you with us?
It's a little bit slower, he's eating the banana.
He's becoming one with the taste. He's the only one doing the meditation rightly, you know. He's best in class.
You have some peanut butter?
Oh my God, it's Durga. Is it okay, Sid? Yes, we stand again, yeah, and then we should, maybe you could, let's see now, can we make, yeah, we can make a circle, let's make a circle.
Circle. Make a circle here from up here, yeah,
And, good. Yes, that's very nice. Then you get all alert, yeah. And close the circle there, yeah. Oh, big time. There's one lady sleeping there. What's happening? She's on her.
I keep her company.
Oh, you're missing the best part here.
Okay.
We can now. We can turn this way. So we'll do a small exercise here. Round. So everyone, just follow. And we can do a little bit walking meditation. It's Buddhist meditation is sometimes laying down like Siddhartha, or sitting, or walking, or standing. 4 positions Buddha taught. This will be the walking one. So if you stand on your feet, just lean a little bit forward, again, and a little bit backward, and then you stop in the middle, right there. Now you take left foot, you lift, and move, and put it down again. And then you take the next foot, lift, move, and put it down. And you do this very, very carefully and very, very mindfully. Vividly aware how the foot touches the ground. And you move the next foot carefully, like Santa Lucia walking. Yeah. One step after the other. And be aware, totally aware of how the foot touches the ground. And see if you can do it a little bit faster. Lift, move, set the foot down. 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 Yeah. So when you're walking, you can do this meditation. You become totally mindful how the gravity, how you carry your body, how you meet the gravity. Straighten yourself up and try to make that lift, carry down, and try to make it as alert and relaxed as possible. And there is a beauty in this. If you walk mindfully, your body will move beautifully. Okay, we can stop there. Now we will do some mantras. Can you say yes? Yes. No. Can you say yes, please?
Yes, please.
And can you say namaste?
Namaste.
And thank you?
Thank you.
Okay. Now we will do another meditation called, which Shiva was teaching Devi. Devi was asking these questions. Now Shiva says to Devi, "Oh sweet princess," say after me.
Oh sweet princess.
When being caressed, enter the caressing as everlasting life. Yeah. When you get a hug, you go into the hug as everlasting life. This is the exercise. Oh sweet princess, when being caressed, enter the caressing as everlasting life. Okay, so now you will turn around to someone and you will say namaste. You start with saying namaste. And then if the person says yes, then you can hug. And if he says no, you go to the next one. And if he says yes, please, you can hug more. And then you say thank you and you leave. And then you can change. Yeah, move around and see if you find someone who wants to hug. Namaste. Yes, or no, or yes, please, and thank you. And enter the caressing as everlasting life. Namaste. Yes.
Yeah, go on, have one or two more. If you find someone.
Namaste.
Finish the one you were with, and find them. We can go on to this for a long time. This is very nice. Please sit down again, yeah. This is
It's sometimes there is one technique also about anger or desire. In Shiva says, in moods of extreme desire. Can you say that?
In moods of extreme desire,
be undisturbed.
be undisturbed.
Yeah, like that he says. In moods of if you get like extreme anger, be undisturbed. And how do you do this? I met Osho 72, and he taught me all these techniques that I'm talking about today. And he said, when you get angry, there are two possibilities. Either you go out and you hit the person on the nose, or you make like a 180 turn. And when up in Sweden we have laps, and they go skiing many times. And when they go skiing like this, and then they suddenly remember they forgot something at home, so they want to go back, and then they make a lappkast. It's called a lappist way of turning, and then he turns back in exactly the same track. And he goes skiing back into his own track. In this way, when your anger goes out, you turn the energy 180 degrees, and you go in to the center of your being, which is like in a cyclone. There is always a center which is totally still, where there's no wind, and there is like open sky presence. And in that place, this anger is transformed into compassion. And it can sound theoretical, but if it happens to you in real life, I was doing this. I was a school teacher, and one day I had a very naughty boy, and we were going to play games. And he didn't want to come and enjoy the game, so he wanted to be outside and not participate. So I was getting really angry with him, and I was going to strangle him and pull his head off. And I looked, and then I heard the voice of Osho. In moods of extreme desire, be undisturbed. Because I was working with the translation of this text to Swedish, and I was stopped there, I froze, and it happened. It happened to me. I just turned the energy, and we were looking at each other, this boy and I, and there was like total compassion. There was absolutely no anger left. I was totally. And I was breathing, and I just let him be, and left him there, and I started to do the game with the other group. And then, when I was looking up, he had sneaked behind my back. So he was out there in the field, and suddenly one ball was coming, and he was catching. And so he got 3 points for his team, you know. And he was free, I was free, and then I realized, this is how this technique works. Oh, wow. So the techniques in the Vighyan Bhairava Tantra, you first learn them intellectually, you understand them and so on. But then you practice them in real life, and then suddenly they happen to you. There's something in real life that is the guru, and then suddenly you have the experience of how it works. And then you can easily connect with that experience and do it again. But it's an ever unfolding journey of constant learning and doing and unfolding of this mystery of life. So that was that technique with the. How was that? I was talking about. Yeah, huh? Yeah, yeah. Now we got into the letting go of the anger, and that is a very, very fantastic technique. I will give you the sutras now. These are someone from the book you can hand out.
Let's ring your bell.
Oh, I forgot my bell. You can give out that.
Yeah, it's really good.
In this book, there is. I have made circles around the ones that I have fallen in love with, and you must search. Actually, we could have a 3-week workshop on this material, and do one technique every day or something, or a 112-day course. And maybe that will happen one day. But I will now teach you. We can look at technique 91, which is one of my favorites. The technique 91 is wherever your mind is wandering. Say after me.
Wherever your mind is wandering,
internally or externally, at this very place, this this is a beautiful technique indeed, and Osho is very, very fantastic describing this technique. But this very mind you have is the door. You don't need a special mind, a Buddha mind, or a Jesus mind, or some special mind. Anywhere the mind is wandering, internally or externally, at this very place, this. Because you are always your awareness is always there. Otherwise, you wouldn't even think what you're thinking. So, whatever is happening in front of the mirror, clouds passing, data coming, going, and thoughts running here and there. But there's someone who knows the thoughts, who sees the thoughts, who experiences. The experiences is always there. And thisness is always here. So this turns you back to here and now. And this is a wonderful technique. And then I have another favorite one, 48. 48. And it is, Shiva says, O lotus-eyed one, say after me, O lotus-eyed one,
Lotus-eyed one,
sweet of touch, when singing, seeing, tasting, be aware you are, and discover the ever-living. These techniques are all about awareness. Osho is teaching awareness, how to be more aware, to be more present in the here and now, to be more mindful. And this technique is he says, it's not only when you singing, seeing, tasting. It can also be driving motorbike, walking, swimming. Be aware you are. And by these techniques, you cannot say that you don't have time. I don't have time to meditate. You can do it in whatever act you're doing. If you're walking, standing, breathing, sitting, singing, self-remembering for short moments. You can do it any time, and there, gradually, these short meditations will become continuous and automatic. So you will always be here and now. You practice and enjoy the journey. Okay. So I think we should have time for question and answers a little bit here now. So if you read this, if you look in this, is there anyone who wants to come up and have some questions about this technique? On the back side, I have written a text of my work with this Satsang Theatre, and how you can find this whole book on my website as a Word document.
You don't have to carry this, you know. You get it by one click from Free Academy. That's it. And you go down to you find the picture of Osho. There's a photo of Osho, and below that there are all the texts and 3 or 4 books. But this Book of Secrets is there as a Word document in 2 volumes. It's like first volume 1 is the first 40 chapters, and then there is one more collection with the chapter 40 to 80. 80 discourses Osho made of this. Beloved Osho! Osho! I met him in 72 in Bombay. And I never forget that. 72, 73, yeah.
So big hands
and all the lectures on the Book of Secrets I got on big reel tapes, and I carried them home to Sweden in my backpack. And it is said that Bodhidharma, when he went to the emperor of China, 800 years after Christ or something, he was carrying the Diamond Sutras written on palm leaves in his backpack when he went over the Himalayas. And I had the tapes of Osho in my backpack when I went back to Sweden. Yeah, like this it was.
Is there an index linking the number to where it is in the book? I have not been able to find that.
There is none, I think.
We will make one.
Thank you. I have read most of the book, but I cannot sometimes link up the number to the part of the
Yeah, I don't know if Osho actually follows these numbers at all. But I suggest, if you ever intend to read this book, you read the first 2 chapters and then jump to 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Because those, I was in the room. And they are the best.
Those are the one we heard last few days.
Yeah.
You know which one those are.
Oh, you played us. And
Then there is 59. We can take that also. This is used actually by the Balanced View over by Double Dutch. Those people. Candice says this technique in the 12 Empowerment. She quotes this technique from Shiva. Simply by looking into the blue sky. Can you say that? Simply beyond clouds. The serenity. Yeah. You just watch the endless sky beyond the clouds. And you immediately something in you resonates with that endlessness. Your awareness has no end to it. It's open like the blue sky. The serenity. Shiva just says like this short serenity in the brilliance, light, indivisible, pervading. He has all these fantastic short words, for that which you cannot describe. You cannot describe this experience of being one with everything, but it's poetry, and very useful poetry. And the other night we talked about number 80. 80 is about forgiveness or understanding or something. I would rather call it. Can we say that objects and desires exists in me as in others? So accepting, let them be transformed. Yeah. I mean, when you see someone having something going on, you can realize that you have the same thing happening in you. So then, by this, accepting that, you can transform both the objects and the desires. Okay, now we will have questions.
so I will sit. I will have this as a question. Is that okay? You can sit over there. Yes. And okay, we will have up here. You come and you sit here with me, and we will see how we can handle it with the mic. So let's make
So now we have the question and answer.
My question?
Yeah, you take this.
My question is about number 65. Center on the sound Om without any A or M. How to do that?
Yeah, you have to say only the huh? I never tried this one. I have no idea. But when you get to this situation, you must consult the book and read what Osho says about it. Or you practice it for a couple of months and then you find out for yourself. I have only the one with the circles on. I have made my beloved friends. These techniques are I have practiced and have a relationship to. But there are many to find out. You don't need all these techniques. You need only one or two. Or you can make your own techniques. Also, and now here comes a questioner. Welcome. So, what's your name?
I'm Anthony, and having read most of the book since you gave it to me last year, my question is simple. Can you explain to me the whole principle of surrender in relation to the 112 meditations? Okay. My name is Anthony. Having read the book since Loka gave it to me last year, can you explain to me the purpose and principle of surrender in relation to the 112 meditations? Thank you.
The surrender is Osho speaks on it. And to me, surrender means to be open to learn, to have, to be able to shut off. I mean, we all carry. I used to say that we have like a film projector on our head, and we are filming, and we are only seeing our own film all the time. You know, like a slideshow. We see our own sunglasses or the film we're projecting. Shut off the projector and be open and listen and see with an open mind. A mind is like an umbrella. It works best when it's open. When you open the umbrella, you can use it for rain and sunshine. But when it's closed, it's no use. So when you have a closed mind, it doesn't really do its purpose. You have to have an open mind. So there, surrender to me means to be able to have the capacity to learn, the capacity to be open, to listen. This is what it means to me, and you find out for yourself and you tell me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Someone more question? Yeah, we have 5 minutes more to do. We can go on for more. Any more questions on these meditation techniques from Shiva? This is the moment you've been waiting for. Come up here and you will get your also you will be on YouTube and famous for 5 minutes. 5 minutes of fame, you know, that's what you all need. Come on. Yeah, very good. Okay, here comes a courageous one, a courageous woman.
Big hand for the courageous woman.
I have to be a little bit closer. Just one question. What about Shakti?
What about Shakti? Oh, Shakti, Devi. She's as you see here, you have. Yeah, it's a wonderful question. I will speak. I will speak as a. You see, Shiva and Shakti is depicted on the picture here, and they are never separate. They're always together. Shiva is the open awareness, endless, limitless, like the open sky, And Durga, Shakti, she's the dynamic energy of awareness. She's like the wind. Shiva is the air. Durga is the wind that blows through the air. And if you take the sky, the open sky, the endless sky is Shiva, and Durga is the blueness of the sky. She's always together with Shiva. They're never separate. And you only experience Shiva through Shakti. You see Shakti, you see all the objects. I see you. You are a manifestation, a dynamic energy of Durga, of Shakti. You are the Shakti.
But I feel like Shiva.
Okay, yeah, of course. Shiva is never separate from Shakti. Shiva is always together. Look here. Shiva is always with you and together with Shakti.
Shiva done with Shakti.
They're always dancing around each other, so they're never separate. So, and if you identify with Shiva, are you really that? Shiva is more like that calm energy. You're more like that dynamic energy, no? Yeah, so you're more Durga, for sure.
Shiva is everywhere.
Shiva is everywhere.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. And any more
Question? Yes, please.
Okay, one question. I convinced you for shooting 5 meditations out of 112.
Oh.
Yeah. So how much more you can do?
I can do maybe 20 that I have a heart feeling for, and I can talk about and demonstrate. But we've done a few today, haven't we? We've done maybe 5 of them, and as I said, you can. Anyone interested in the audio talks? I have some CDs with me. With the best of Osho. It's I made a CD with 9 discourses from the Book of Secrets. The first 3 ones, and the ones 32 to 39, which is about what we spoke today. But you can also get it from you. You have it on your computer. You just give him a USB stick, and he will give it to you. The whole Vighyan Bhairava Tantra audio. And then you put it in your iPhone or MP3 player, and you listen to it for 20 years and meditate upon it and enjoy it. Any more questions? Please. What about the Sanskrit scholar down, very, very shy over there? Come on here now. You must have like the ultimate question.
Yeah, come on.
It was very clear.
Ira.
Yeah, questions disappeared. Everything was so clear.
No, but I just want to have you in the picture, you know, because you have longer beard than me. Come on.
Show the loveliness of your beard.
Yeah, this
This man here is a very scholar man. He even gives lectures in Sanskrit, which is unbelievable. I like to hear. And I would like to study the sutras here. They are actually songs. Sutras are songs, and they're probably in Sanskrit, I think, the original. So to understand them fully, you would have to learn them in Sanskrit, and that's a challenge. I just go on practicing them with the instructions of Osho, and sometimes I benefit tremendously from them, and they help me, and they save my day and my life sometimes.
Yeah, so, please, a question, yeah, whatever.
A question. So,
Ira. This man is called Ira.
My name is Ira. Hi, everybody. So, a question comes to mind about Shiva and Shakti. You said they were inseparable. So, my question is, there's a teaching, they talk about non-dual teaching, that there's no duality. So, when you say Shiva and Shakti are inseparable, it sounds like a dualistic teaching. So, is it a dualistic teaching, or is it just Shiva? Because if there's Shiva and Shakti, then there seems like there's two things that are... I'm sorry. So my point is, if either there's just Shiva, that's called non-duality, or there's two things, Shiva and his power, his Shakti, and they're both real, and they're both eternal, and they exist together. So this doesn't sound like non-duality. So the question is this a non-dual teaching?
It is. I can only speak for what I have experienced, and it is a non-dual teaching. It appears like a dualistic teaching because you don't. You experience Shiva through Shakti as the dynamic energy, but Durga is never existing without Shiva, because without awareness, without being aware, you wouldn't even experience anything, and you wouldn't hear anything, you wouldn't see, you wouldn't look through your eyes. What you experience through your eyes, your senses, is because of Shiva's power to know, and what's moving in the world is the dynamic energy of awareness. And how it's only intellectually that they separate. In real, and that's the dilemma of being a human, because we are living in the world of duality, because of the mind, because the mind divides everything. The mind is dividing things into black and white, red and green, and so this is the function of the mind. But really everything. But if we would experience everything as one, we wouldn't be able to find the car keys. We wouldn't be able to run around in this dualistic world, so skillfully as we do. So I think it's definitely beyond my comprehension.
I think it would help if you shed some more light on why you consider it dualistic. What I understood is, someone asked me also, one time we written like, there should be some name of the Tantra. We heard something here like Kali meditation. Okay, the meditation has nothing to do with Ma Kali, but it's designed beautifully and it works well. It's a good exercise, good breathing, and delivers its results. But it's not like the way it sounds that it's like coming from Ma Kali and some traditional meditation given by an enlightened being or something proven. The same way, like I was thinking, we need to give some name to meditation. Somebody just wrote, I wrote the Tantra, the Path of Love, and our Girish added to the Shiv Tantra. Okay, so there's the Shivas, so somebody comes and asks, What about Shakti? Why not Shakti here? So in Arambol, Shiva Shakti is pretty famous. And to me it looks like they only read because why only Shiva mentioned, why not Shakti? Because here the Shiva is giving the techniques to be like him. So we call it like, this is from God, Lord Shiva. Okay, then we go like, when I heard you, I was not able to understand that why it is dualistic. If you shed more light, then maybe we can talk on that why it is non-dual.
So, in India, there's a number of teachings. One is called Advaita Vedanta, which is based on the teachings of the Upanishads. So a famous quote from the Upanishads goes like this: where there is duality, as it were, then one sees another, one hears another, one knows another. But when to him all has become the self alone, what will he see and with what? What will he hear and with what? What will he know and with what? There's only one reality. There's no Shakti in it. There's no Daimonism in it. Reality never changes. It's not in time. It's not in space. It doesn't have any parts. It can't be dynamic. Reality is achalam, unchanging, avikriyam, without any modification. It's always the same. That's the nature of reality. That which changes can't be real. And that which is real never changes. The only reality is Shiva. That's called Advaita. Now there's another teaching in India which is also called non-dualism, which is like this. There's an ocean, and in the ocean there are waves. The ocean is nothing but water. The waves are nothing but water. So the ocean and the waves are non-dual. But there is an ocean and there are waves. This is called Tantra. Tantra believes in the dynamic reality. The reality is ceaselessly changing, constantly active, dynamic. But the other teaching in India, the Upanishadic teaching, is that reality never changes. It's not dynamic. It's beyond time and space. It can't change. So it's important at least to know the difference between these two types of teachings. And
but then, what is the changing and the dynamic? Isn't it not part of reality? Or?
Well, according to, for example, the Tantric or Kashmiri Shaivism or this type of teaching, all of this is the play of consciousness. So you don't have to get rid of it, you don't have to change it. This is all Shiva's dance. It's perfect. But in Advaita, the reason duality is appearing is not because Shiva's having a dance. It's because you're ignorant. When you know the truth, there'll be no more dance. The dance is called in Advaita Maya. Even though it appears to exist, in truth, it never was, it isn't now, it never will be. The only reality is that open sky that David House was talking about. That's the only reality. Ekam Advityam, one without a second. That's called non-duality. The other one says, there is this duality, but it's not separate from Shiva. It's a very different teaching. So people have to decide what makes sense in their own experience. And that's why I brought up the question of Shiva and Shakti.
Thank you very much for this.
In quantum theory, they talk about duality, and they actually ask for state.
You want to come in?
No, I was asking this question. He gave me the zip.
Yeah, you come up here. You come both up here. Yes, you stay on here. So.
Yes, I have done workshops on quantum theory. In quantum theory, they talk about duality, and in effect, the scientists have identified at the quantum level that it is both the wave and the water at the same time. How can you explain that in the sense of what you've just been talking about? Because it seems to resonate with me, those thoughts.
Quantum physics is of absolutely no value in the teaching of non-duality. What it means is that this whole universe, this whole duality that we see, according to the Upanishads, is swapnavat. It's like a dream. This world is like a dream. And what it means by that is, even while the dream is going on, it seems absolutely real. The dream water quenches my dream thirst, the dream time, the dream space. But as soon as I wake up, I realize it was just a dream. It really wasn't real. The only reality there was me. That awareness that was aware, but the dream had no reality. Well, if you could see that this waking state is of no difference than that dream state. They both appear and disappear like the clouds that Devadas was talking about. They have no reality. It's me that appeared as the dream. It's me that appears as the waking. I am the truth of it all. I'm the only reality. That's advice.
Hari-Om. I think
on the contradiction of theory on Upanishad and Tantra or any other, I would only say that to me it appears they were given on different time to different people. So all the religion has different interpretation you can have and different things they have said. So I won't say one is wrong or other is right. It's only at the time it was given. That time it was right.
I think with these wise words, we will end this year's Satsang Theatre in Goa. And I would thank right here and all the people here in making this space available for us. And thank you for all of you for coming and making this possible. And Hari-Om. Hari-Om. Thank you very much.
We'll have Devadas ji more.
Inshallah. Yes. We'll do something for you. Mitt namn på baksidan här står det Loka Devadas.
Everybody is welcome to
Well,
Kundalini now, after just a little.
Yeah, we will just change the stage here and then there will be Kundalini meditation.
It was more successful than in Panjin.
We will just back a little bit away here.
Now we can do the Kundalini meditation.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And he's really great storyteller.
It's very good level, I think.
Yeah.
So this guy.
I want my money back.
Yeah.
Fick du med det där? Dick och Maja,